G'day guys, just want to check this, make sure I turned it on. Yep, I got it on. Yeah, the GP Extreme I was working on, that thing on the bench there. If I'm upside down at the moment, so we go with that and chuck them over there, and you can see on the oscilloscope there, if you probably can. I don't know if you can or you can't. It's a bit low res, but she's transmitting, and I'll turn the audio amplifier on. And that's the audio amplifier on full, which means the speaker's pointing down as well. It fell over. So there is this detector, and you get the old stick. I'll use a 0.1. And this one has variable gain, variable frequency. The gain is right down. I'll turn the gain up on it. So yeah, we'll go over to where the coil is, somewhere down there. You know, you can hot rock. Into tracking. Hot rock, no problem. Blast or hot rock. So she's fixed. I'm going to tell you a funny story what it was. I am. I'll show you what it was, just so you know. Anyway, there's two faults. Both just normal wear and tear, I'd say. And one was probably caused by vibration. So let's get over here. Remember, it sounded like an alien. It was making alien noise, and then not, then it was. That's a current sense resistor there for the switch mode power supply. So that resistor there was failing and causing instability in the supply because it was working, not working, working, not working. It was a thermal problem, and yeah, it's very, very low ohms, but that was upsetting the power supply. So now the power supply is nice and smooth. The thing is, I was measuring on the -5 and +5 volt rails to the preamplifier, and they were relatively smooth, but I forgot they have, after it comes off the main supply here, through these devices there and there, one does 5, one does -5, and it's set up as a capacitance multiplier, so it would get rid of all the ripple off the 5 volt rails, but the rest of the circuit isn't so lucky, and it was getting in and causing frequency pull. So we got rid of that noise. The other thing too, I found broken ground tracks on these. A lot of these, it'll go active, ground, some other active, ground, like that. That's how it works on some of these. Not every pin. And what actually happens, if the ground connections start breaking, it can allow noise to get in some of the critical applications because it acts like a transmission line and gives it a partial bit of shielding. And if it goes open, or the wrong one goes open, it can cause all sorts of issues. So yeah, it was making and breaking on this one here. So I stripped it all back, and as you can probably see, if you can see I don't know if you can see, but all of these here have a bead of hot melt glue put there. That's to stop them moving like this, because they break off right on the board. So if you can stop the movement there, it will help in the long run. This one at the bottom here, where is it there? That has been completely redone. That's why it looks like a bit of a mess. When you put the hot melt glue on it, don't put it that it comes out onto the green part of the channel here, you'll never get it back in the box. That's how it slides in the box on rails. 2 bits of alloy each side, and it slides in like so. So if you block this, it's going to go and bind on it. It won't work. If you find it very difficult to get the boards back in the box, you can see these are all like shattered and smashed on the ends. That's because the screws go straight in into the board. Here you can see there that it's broken off. It's just the edge of the board's broken off, and there it's not. It's the way it goes together. It's just a brute force. You're going to stay there thing, and what happens with the screws going in? It binds up those guide channels as well, and where the thread goes through the alloy, it makes highs and lows because of the thread, and you can't get the boards out. So you got to shove something down there like something flat, and just give it a wiggle to push those cut marks from the screws back down so you can get the board out. Otherwise you'll be sitting there and you have to use a piece of wood and a hammer to bang the boards out, which I don't suggest. I've had to do that before because they were so badly bound into the case. So anyway, that is one repaired GP Extreme, and it works really, really well. And as I keep saying, with the old detectors, you don't want to run out of old detectors. I've come up with some stuff that is absolutely magic for the older detectors, and this is not any of the current modifications we're doing, because everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, someone was whinging saying, oh, you keep changing the mods. Yeah, we just keep developing and making better. We should, like I say, Minelab should never have ever built anything past the SD2000, shouldn't they? Because they changed it, right? Logic. So yeah, development goes on, redesign goes on, improvements keep happening, and I can always stop doing it. That'd make everyone happy, wouldn't it? So anyway, yeah, that's that. Now, there's new coils on the market. I don't know whether, well, the guy advertised it on Facebook, right? And I asked him, I said, do you want me to, show everyone your new coils on YouTube? And I think he said, that's a thought. So I had to think, why not? So, yeah, I'll do a separate little video on it. I'm not going to make a big long one about coils, but I couldn't work it out. Saying, oh, who's this making coils? And anyway, cut a long story short, I sort of knew the name. I didn't know where I knew it from. And I said, oh, David, do you know this guy? And he goes, yeah. He goes, oh, he buys stuff off us. And I said, what does he buy? And he goes, oh, Litzwire. So now I know. Okay, so this guy is making coils. But it's on Facebook. You can go and Andy Fairfield, go and look it up. And what's he calling himself? Prospector, like spectre as in ghost. Prospectre, coils. So you can go and have a look at that. But then he answered me on Facebook. They have too many test coils out. They have something around they. Who's they? I thought it was him. I don't know. I don't know if he replied to me on that. So if anybody knows anymore, let me know, because I don't. I'm just bamboozled. So, fun and games. Yeah, apart from that, this is just a follow-on video from the other one, fixing this gadget up, and works really well, by the way. The older detectors, some of them work extremely well in some circumstances, and I would in some circumstances, if I had a choice, I'll tell you right now, right? If I had a choice of using a standard GPX 5000 and an old GP Extreme standard, I'm talking standard detectors, no modifications, just out of the box sort of thing, right? If you can still get one, I'd pick the GP Extreme, right? I really would. I'd pick the GP Extreme than out of the box standard 5000. If I get enough, yeah, I can. I could do a side-by-side test if you really want to see. You will be surprised. Actually, hang on a sec. I just want to look up on my cupboard, see if I know I've got 5000s. You know, they're on the floor. They've been done, but I might have more come in, and I really would like an untouched Extreme. I could show you this. You'll go, what? Like, how come sensitivity went down over the years? Anyway, I mean, in different models. Hang on a sec. Let's go up here and have a look. Okay, well, I've got standard 5000s up here. Standard 4500. What's that one? Please. No, it's 4500. I thought I would have had an Extreme or a... well, I'll tell you what I have got. I've got 3500s. 45, 45, 7s, and 7's no good for that test. That's a 5000. Hang on, let's walk around over here. What have I got? Hang on. What's that? That 45. Damn. Okay. I haven't got a standard. I haven't got a standard GP Extreme. I've only got this one here. Damn it! But that's modified, so it's not a fair test. It would absolutely cream the 5000 severely. But yeah, the 5000, of course, you got the fine gold mode on it, and the rest of it's basically the same as a 45. You know, enhance and normal. Damn. I might have an old one kicking around somewhere. Up in the cupboard. But up the cupboard up there, you can probably spot there's a whole stack of double board detectors up there. Yeah, which up there. See them? You can see them there, right in the middle of the screen. There's boxes of standard GP detectors up there, so maybe I'll get something out of that and give it a go. But guys, I want to tell you some stuff about. You know, I've already mentioned this other guy making coils, but oh dear. How do I start? This should be a separate video. It should not be part of tailed on the end of a repair to a GP. But now I've said it, I might as well make a bit of a mention about it. Okay, I have a way, all right, and it has to involve the older G. You can let me think about it for a second. I can do it on a SD as well, but I would rather do it on the GPs, GPXs, 45.5, 3000 type things. How would you like to go detecting, right, and have sensitivity and depth capability, especially mid-gold? And this is in my opinion, right? I know how to do it. I just haven't done it, but I know it will work. The same overall sensitivity as a 7000, but utilizing a GP or GPX box. I have to do some changes to the box, and I'll have to make a complete new range of coils for it, right? I know it'll work. I can't say what it is because everyone will try and you know, do something about it. But This will allow anyone out there to run a lot more gain, like even front end gain, than what you're doing now. At the moment, we're using front end gains, you know, roughly what, 30 times, up getting close to 40 times front end gain. I mean, talking target gain. How about we can get that up to 50s and 60s, right? That's a hell of a lot of gain. And how would it be if all that gain was dead quiet? I mean, didn't suffer EMI. Would you be interested? I'll be the first one to put my hand up. Yes, absolutely. I'll go over every bit of ground I've ever been over, and I'll just pull all the nuggets that everyone else has missed, that you cannot detect, because it will definitely. I'll go to tell you the story, right? At the moment, okay, this is how it works. I can make all this stuff. I know it will work. It will work beautifully. It'll work brilliantly. It needs a lot of engineering to do it properly. And then it has to be, I can do it in a separate, I can do it in our own detector that's coming, but we'll just say we can do this in existing detectors to speed up the process. That, I mean, big coils, small coils, no dongles. So there's no dongles, which I could add dongles because I'd be putting another board in the detector as well. I could do that, couldn't I? That's just being nasty, in my opinion. So maybe we don't do that. But we can definitely do this. I'm just thinking, can you use your old coils still? Possibly. I have to look into that a little bit more. But give me some feedback on that. Would you be interested in using something? I'll tell you what, it doesn't have to be a great big lumbering coil like a 7,000 coil. How about we just use something like, I'll show you. Oh, come here, you. Well, that's an old X coil, right? But something along the lines of that. That's very small. A small coil that will sort of work like the way this does. This works fine, but I've set it up as a cancel coil for testing 7,000s in here. So, and all you need, of course, all you need is your dongle, which goes on there, goes on the 7, away you go. Not hard to do. I love the way it works. Dave makes all those dongles for us anyway. Dave's my son, by the way, so for those who don't know. So, if you want your coil cable, the plug chopped off and turned into a proper dongle, some people who don't know electronics, don't do it yourself. If you get the wires crossed over, you'll blow your detector up. Don't do that, because it'll take out the black module, and you'll have to buy new boards. So, yeah, small coils like that, bigger coils, we can make these coils. Actually, Dave's making coils at the moment. We've been making those great big drag coils, and we're making smaller coils as well. He's making some very efficient coils at the moment, and I'll just give you an idea. Should I? See, this gives everyone heads ups in the commercial world, but those coils that he's making are so damn sensitive. It's ridiculous. Beats everyone else's coils. Side by side comparison. I don't care who they are. It beats their coils. So Dave's making some rippers, and whoever's Andy's working with two making coils. I think they've been watching my videos on how to make coils, and maybe they're very, very good coils. I haven't got one to test, but they're out there. And they only bought 200 meters of Litz wire, so I don't know how many coils they're going to make out of that. You're sort of a bit limited. Maybe you can make 10 or something. But yeah, I'm not going to say too much about the design about that. That can be greatly improved. That can be massively improved. Sorry, X coils, but no, your coils work good. That's a very, very good small coil design for very small targets. I'll give you that. But the actual size of the coil and the shape of the coil constrains the ability to still get fine, very small gold, but get bigger gold as well. So anyway, look, I'll tell you what happens, right? If I make coils and I put them out, I sell 10, okay? 2 months, there'll be 1,000 out of different outlets all over the place. So that's just the way it works. It's a very, very monkey see, monkey copy, monkey do industry. And I say that in the nicest way, of course. Now, see, I was going to start talking about the coil and how to improve it. See, I actually have to pull myself back all the time because, I like this stuff. I like the educational part of it, but you can't give away corporate secrets in your education because everyone will go and do it. And what was the point of developing it? Don't know. But anyway, what I should do? I should put a feeler out, shouldn't I? Should put a feeler. See, the thing at the moment, right, is it's just not enough technical people around that can get involved with this sort of stuff. I've got to be careful what I say here. There's people out there who, I know people who do really good software and stuff, and they wouldn't have the faintest idea about making a metal detector. No idea. But they know how to do all the filtering using adaptive filtering or LMS filters and stuff like this for detectors, which no one at the moment does, which make a very nice detector and very quiet. But we'll leave that for the future. But, if you've got someone like that and you worked with them and did the hardware design and incorporated all this software, my God, you'd kill the pig. You'd kill the pig easy as. So, even the designs we've got now, the ones I look at, I look at some of the stuff that's been released lately. I just look at it and go, there's better ways of doing that. Why have you done it that way? Why? And I'm not going to say why I know, as in I know you shouldn't have done it that way, but why did you do it that way? You should know better. So I think that there's a lot of lost skill or something in this field. I don't know. Some of the stuff is just mind blowing. The stuff's functional, right? It's functional. But, you could say, well, I could drive around in a Lada or a Fiat 500 and it's going to get me from point A to point B. But, I'll probably be looking at lots of breakdowns. Oh, dear, it's, the crappiest metal detector ever made will still pick up gold, right? It'll still pick up metal. Depends how big it is, of course. It's still going to work. It's a metal detector. But yeah, there's some good stuff out there. There is some good stuff out there. There's also some stuff that's a bit poorly. And I'm not gonna say what it is because I know what happens. It's just giving a heads up all the time. Heads up. Yep. Change that, and you end up cutting your own lunch. So no, not going to say it, but there is a lot of stuff that can be done. A lot of stuff. But I'm very excited about making some really good coils for the older detectors. And let's see if anyone cottons on to how that can be done and what the inference is. It's probably saying too much. Maybe just don't say anything at all, and then I won't make any more videos. That might be a way of doing it, and then pop out and here, that's ready to go to market. Pew, something like that. That's a bit dumb. There's no fun in doing that. I don't get, I mean, the commercial aspect of all this stuff, it puts food on the table, doesn't it? Pays the electricity bill and the gas bill. But, it's the fun bit's probably making videos, I think, a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just so much things that just, I really have something like, it must be about 100. Oh, it just reminds me of another thing, which I've promised people I'm going to build this up, and I've actually got prototypes. Um, I can show you a prototype, but I can't show you the chips and that on it because unless the numbers have been ground off, because otherwise people will go and try and copy it. Hang on, I'll see if I got the early proto here. Here's the early proto. It's a little board like that, and as you can see, it must plug into the detector audio socket. So yeah, this is a proto. It's not the final one. I had the board redesigned because I rushed the board and I forgot a bloody track and I had to put a jumper in there, as you can see there. But anyway, yeah, and I have taken the numbers off those chips. Thank you to myself, because otherwise, yeah, people will be out trying to do code and stuff, trying to emulate it, what it does. But no one knows what it does. But I'll tell you what, I'll tell you this. When this is available, I will sell hundreds of thousands of them. Hundreds of thousands. Everyone is going to want one, right? Not everyone, but a lot of people will want it. And I'll get into that in another video when I'm about 2 seconds away of flooding the market with them, just so no one else gets a jump up on it. But it's an absolute winner, big time winner, and it'll make people smile. A lot of people are going to smile. A lot of people are going to be very, very happy. And that, I'll leave it there because I'll say too much. So yeah, part of that. It's going to be good, really good. There was some other stuff too. Look, I'll tell you right now, for one person doing all this, design, development, and repairs and everything, it's flat out. But I've got I said I've got something for the detectors and something with new coils and that, with a complete different idea of coils. There's also another one too, which make sure that no one saw the board. Hang on a sec. I think I might have had the board on the table, and if it is in the video, it's not going out. Thank God it's not there. I don't know where I put it. It's in the room somewhere. No, I think I've hidden it so it wouldn't be seen. But it's another thing to go on the older detectors. This is not specifically for the older detectors. This was going to get incorporated into the detector under development, and it is also going to be along the lines of no EMI, none, zero. We won't have EMI, and we'll see how that stacks up against everyone else's offerings currently. I was saving this for another video as well, but we're going to go on to Jitter. Do you want to go on to Jitter, right? When you're going along detecting, and I haven't got a detector here which I can go along with at the moment and make the same sound. So when you go along and you hear this, you know, it's in your signal. It's bouncing up and down. I'll tell you right now, that is massively killing your gold tally. That is obscuring every threshold signal. It's the most important signal to dig. It kills it. Any jitter, as you're detecting, people have the gain turned up too high, stuff like that with all this noise. I'd rather turn the gain to 0 and detect. Honestly, you'll get more gold. This, you know, all over the place. I watch YouTube videos and I go, how the hell are you detecting? How the hell can you get big signals deep when they're just getting trounced by this over the top of them? I shake my head. You know, I used to always get deep signals. The detector had to be as quiet as hell, right? As much gain as possible, but just steady. So you'd hear a little thing like that. A little thing like that could be a 100-ounce nugget, right? Down deep. And you're going along and you've got this going over the top of that. You're not going to hear it. It's bloody stupid. There's a lot of crazy detectorists out there that even don't know. And all they do is they listen for things that go, woohoo, you know, like you go over a Coke can or something. That's what they listen for. No, don't do that. I mean, leave all the gold in the ground for people who know better, but, you know, people's detecting styles are crazy. I could go into specific detectors and tell you about how noisy they are and how they obscure, you know, deep targets. And also they can obscure targets that are a medium depth target as well. Normally, probably won't obscure fly specks on the surface because the attack rate is too great. You know, you're going to get a spike in the middle of it, but it will diminish your ears to properly decipher that. You know, it's the old story. Pretend you're in a hall or somewhere, right? Like somewhere, you know, no people. It's only you and someone else. Someone could probably whisper from, you know, 10 feet, 3 meters away or whatever, and you're going to hear that. You're going to hear the whisper, right? Now, let's fill up the room full of people having conversations and see if you can hear that whisper. And you're not going to hear it. Not at all. They're going to have to yell and shout, and that's your big target, you know, the big boof, you know. You're not going to pick up all those little targets that usually indicate that they're big, deep targets. So this is my philosophy, is my opinion, that why hardly anyone finds any, you know, really big, decent targets. They are found, of course, because there's so many people out there detecting. It's just the odds of finding something. But a lot of people don't find gold because they don't know how to use the detectors properly, and they crank it to the max, thinking, "Oh, it's going so hard. It's going to go down deep. It's going to get everything." Yeah, righto, fantastic. If that's your philosophy, good, go with it. But you know, I've been doing this a long, long time, and I know better. Quiet. Don't have it quiet so it's got no gain, right? I don't mean, when I said before no gain, I mean very little. Don't start amplifying up everything. So, you know, all these peaks and that, all you're going to do is raise your noise floor. They're going to be part of it, right? Because they're all so fast and intertwined. So things that are down here where you could detect, right? You're just now pumping the noise floor up here. And these things you can't hear anymore because you've got all this over the top of them. So, yeah, you know, how's that? I've really skewed off topic from the GP Extreme on the repair of what it was and how to fix it and everything else. But so be it. More videos are coming. More videos will be coming for sure. But I can't. I've still got all those detectors to do. I really want to finish my projects and I can't. It's crazy. You know, so if anybody out there has any ideas how I can speed up my workload, Have you got a cloning machine? Can you make more of me? But if there's anyone out there who has any ideas, I don't know. I really don't know. Um, we've had so many things that you get other people involved, and it goes pear shaped. It's just hard. It really is. Um, I, its thoughts go around your head, you go round and round and round, and it's like it's just a loop trying to think of ways out of stuff. And as soon as you get something's going to break the loop and go over here, it basically comes back and no, you can't do that. Round it goes again. So I don't know. I don't know, guys, how to get all these projects done. Uh, is there any electronic engineers in Ballarat that want to work on detectors? Um, you know, uh, it's tricky stuff. It's not like fixing toasters. Um, it's difficult. Anyway, look, I've said too much. I better get back to work. Catches.